Welcome back to Pretty Wise, the podcast dedicated to fun and thoughtful conversations about aging and health and everything in between. Today, I have a fun, special guest with me, someone who I met, I feel like, in the most organic way possible. I feel like how I meet most of my friends these days, but we were playing tennis. And the minute I met her and we got to talking, we became fast friends. And it's one of those people that, within a few seconds of talking with her, you just feel so comfortable and you feel like you could say anything and you're not going to be judged, or it's just like fun and funny. And I feel like that doesn't happen a lot in your 50s. So it was a kind of a special relationship. So I'd like to introduce you to Melissa O'Neill DeBoche. Who she is. And did I say it right?
Dobish.
Dobish, dang it.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I'm so sorry.
Gets it right.
Dobish. She is a tennis player.
I am.
A mom.
Yes.
A therapist. A business owner.
All of it.
A community leader.
Sometimes.
Okay. What else are you? Are you a dog mom?
I'm not. Okay. We're thinking about it.
Okay.
We're on the fence about that. Yeah. We're not necessarily.
Don't jump into that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some caution.
I've heard that.
And she is the owner of
the Rosetree Center for Healthy Sexuality.
Healthy Sexuality.
Yep. Located in Media, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So maybe why don't you start talking about how you got started in this field, what you do, because I think it's really interesting when I got to talking with you about your job. Like, you don't just handle sexual health stuff with couples and singles, but it's like forensic sexuality, which is really cool and really interesting. And I bet you have so many interesting stories.
So forensic psychology, right? So I started out, well, let me take you all the way back.
Take me back.
I'm going to take you all the way back. So I grew up in Delaware County. Let me give out a shout out to my Delco peeps.
Yeah.
In a town called Collingdale, Pennsylvania. So it was like lower income.
What high school was that?
That was, well, I didn't go to the public school, so I think it was like Penn East or Penn Delco.
Okay, Penn Delco. Gotcha.
Yeah, something like that. And so I didn't go to school in the school district. So my parents got divorced when I was very, very young. They had me when they were in their early 20s. So just that in and of itself, like, they weren't really prepared.
Were they married?
At all. They were married, and then they quickly got divorced. And I think I was, 4. It was super, super young. And they didn't get along, and that was very difficult growing up, not having parents who got along or who could kind of come together for the sake of me, right? And like put their own stuff aside for the sake of their child. They couldn't do that. And that we see that a lot today too, like parents who really have a hard time just getting their act together and putting their stuff aside for the sake of their children. Some parents ultimately do that, others don't, and the kids suffer, just FYI.
Sad, yeah.
It's just true. So my mom was I grew up with my mom primarily, and then she got remarried when I was in high school. My relationship with her was quite dysfunctional, and it still is. We're I don't know if you'd call it estranged, but it's a crunchy relationship. It's a very dysfunctional relationship. It's a relationship that I have tried over and over and over to figure out and to be what she wants me to be, but there is none of that, right? And so this is a template for a lot of relationships. A lot of people are in relationships where they're just not getting their needs met, and they don't know how to cut it off, and they don't know how to set boundaries, and they don't know how to say, no, this isn't good for me. This is impeding on my self-care. Like with my mom, like with a parent, it's almost like I'm addicted, right? Like I keep going back to something. What do I keep going back to? I keep going back to the love, unconditional love that I'm trying so desperately to get, the approval and the acceptance, right? And that's what every child wants from their parent, is those things. And that's what I kind of keep trying to go back to for her, but she's devoid. She can't give it to me. So that's kind of like something that I am trying to figure out and work through, that relationship, that cycle in my head.
Does she know that you have this desire to get there, or does she not? Is she kind of oblivious to all this and is just kind of living her life, or does she know that you're working on it and she's trying to work on it too? Like, is it a?
No, she works on nothing. Nope, she's not working on anything. It took me a little while to figure out kind of like what her issue was. Like, growing up, because I sensed that like there was something wrong. I sensed that there was something dysfunctional. I sensed that our relationship was off, given the position that I was being put in over and over and over again as a child. And in high school, I had a psychology class. I think I was a junior or senior, and it was like magic. It was like magic. I was diagnosed with ADHD, so I had a very difficult time learning. But when I went to that class and I started reading, it was like answers to questions that I had about my whole entire family system.
Wow, that's cool.
Was right in the psychology books, right? Like, okay, this makes sense about that one. This makes sense about this one. It's taken me a really long time to figure out my mother, because we're very, very close. You know, like it's difficult for any person to diagnose any other person close to them or try and figure out what's going on there with that other person, because I'm completely subjective, right? And so just understanding what I know now about psychology, about mental health, she clearly like has stuff going on that's untreated. So in high school, I decided that I wanted to pursue this. So to get back to your question, it was honestly a calling for me. Right, I got a little disjointed at college. Through college, I was supposed to go to Widener. I wound up not going there. I wound up going to another place in Charleston, South Carolina, called Johnson & Wales University. I'm not a cook.
Yeah, it's a big chef school. Yeah.
My friend was going there.
I thought it was in Rhode Island.
There's
another
two.
one? Okay.
Yeah, that's the main campus.
Okay.
And then this one that I went to was a satellite campus in Charleston. And Charleston is a blast.
Yeah.
Charleston, South Carolina. I got to live there for 4 years. It was just not the right fit. It was not the right fit for me.
You got a little off
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Yep.
And so after that, I kind of got back on track. And I had a moment with my mom was watching one of her friend's kids. And the child was, I don't know, between like 6 and 10 at the time. And she was struggling. And I was contemplating on whether or not to go back to graduate school, to pursue this more. Like, what was I going to do with my life? I was in my early 20s. And I was talking to her, and she was telling me about her problems. And I was like, now I know what I want to do. Like, so it was kind of like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of like, and yeah, it's definitely a calling. I definitely love what I do. It's not for everybody. Right?
How did you get into the sexual health, though?
So I got pregnant when I was 25, and I wasn't married at the time. And my oldest daughter's biological father decided that he didn't want to be in our lives or have anything to do with that. So, wait, what was your question? I'm always forgetting.
How did you get, like, what made you want to get into the sexual health? Yeah.
So I was pregnant with her. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with graduate school. I was 8 months pregnant. I got accepted into Villanova University. This person, I believe he's deceased now, but his name was Ken Davis, I believe. And he took mercy on me and decided to, I applied. But I was in a bad situation. I went to a non-traditional school. Then I had some credits from Delaware County. So it was kind of like
a hot mess.
A little bit. I'm showing up 8 months pregnant
Right.
to his office,
Right.
He's like, he took mercy on me and he gave me a shot. I went in as non-matriculated. I came out. I graduated from that program. And now I go back to Villanova University and I train students on human sexuality.
Totally cool.
Yes, it is very cool. So thank you, Dr. Davis. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. You did the right thing there.
How long have you opened this business, the center for?
I think we started in 2017, 2018. However, I had been working in the field. I've been working in the field for about 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I was, right after I had Alec, I was in graduate school and I needed a job. I needed a job because I needed insurance. I was by myself. I didn't have a partner to help me out. So a place called the Joseph J. Peters Institute was hiring. And this is a nonprofit organization, mental health in the city of Philadelphia, where they work with juveniles, adults, offenders. They do evaluations, they do group, they do individual, and they also work with victims. So I was like, okay, you're hiring. I'm gonna give this a shot.
Okay.
And
yeah, sometimes like that's how things start, right?
Yep,
Like,
and that's exactly how
try
it
this.
started.
Yep.
And it's forensics, and I learned everything that I know, almost everything that I know. Like that was my foundation. And I got in there and I could do it. I could work with this population. I wasn't offended. I mean, I was offended at like what they were doing was wrong, right? What they were doing was illegal. But I wasn't taking anything that they were doing personally. Like, you know, like some therapists are like, I can't, or individuals, I can't work with this person because of what they're doing, you know, that aside. But then some people kind of like, it hits home for them too much, right? And so it's just something that they don't want to pursue. I could do it, and I wanted to, and I wanted to learn more about it. I wanted to learn more about why people chose, you know, healthier pathways, unhealthier pathways, sometimes illegal pathways to get their sexual needs met. And I learned group work, I learned individual, I learned how to do evaluations, which I took with me to all the other organizations that I worked with, and I eventually landed here at Rosetree Center for Healthy Sexuality. And not alone. I have people that help me. There's a woman, her name's Dr. Erin Lee Kelly. She helped found the name. And she also, you had met her. We did the workshop for Dr. Einhorn at her practice, and she brings a lot of the PhD level human sexuality, you know, where she'll bring in like the stuffed clitoris or Lilith and things like that, and she'll go into all the science about it. So her and I collaborate quite a bit. And then I have also a really great team of therapists that I work with that all enjoy doing the type of work that we do. So we specialize in human sexuality. So we take trainings around human sexuality. Most of the patients that come into the practice are coming in because of some sexuality related issue.
Is it like court mandated? Like they have to see a therapist?
So,
or is it people that are just exploring?
Yeah, well, both. So for our forensic population, most of the time, almost like 98% of the time, they're mandated. So either pre-sentence, they're coming in because their lawyer has said this will help you like understand really better who you are, understand the legal process, also help, you know, if the community sees that you are taking this seriously, that you are in therapy, that you are doing the work to make amends, to repair, you know, then it's better for them overall. It's about mitigating. I'm not going to lie. It's about you know, mitigating sentencing. But when they get in, when they come into my therapy space, it's also about like we're going to get to the bottom of this. Like we're going to figure out what the hell was going on, what you were doing, what you were thinking, what your intentions were, and how to thwart that. Right? And how to figure out a healthier pathway.
Yeah. Well, this is interesting to me. I don't know if you're allowed to like talk about it, but like what are some of the things that people
Child
do?
sexual abuse images.
Mostly? Is that the
Yeah, child sexual abuse images. A lot of non-contact offenses are child sexual abuse images. So where folks are going online and they're searching or they're coming across it. It's even when you're looking at mainstream porn, it is not unusual for you to find untoward or questionable content on the porn sites. And you really kind of have to know what you're looking at and what, you know, you could click on something that looks like you're curious about that. You're not necessarily meaning to, you know, go down that rabbit hole. Although a lot of the folks that I work with absolutely mean to go down that rabbit hole.
Do they ever say like, I didn't know?
No.
They try
Well,
to
and
plead,
if they
like,
do,
they're
it's like,
innocent.
no. We're not going to start with
and
denial right here.
Does that come from always like trauma? Like what would possess a person to?
A lot of times. So like personality disorders, they're patterned behavioral responses in response to trauma, right? So this person has been traumatized, living in a chaotic environment, you know, for a period of time. And like when we talk about PTSD and we talk about, we just talk about post-traumatic stress disorder, a lot of folks think like you have to have gone through war, you have to have had like a terrible accident.
Right.
There's a thing called relationship trauma, and the trauma happens within the relationship because the person, like say it's your mom or a caretaker, this person is disordered, this person is traumatized themselves, this person hasn't gotten any help or healing, they haven't gotten treatment for it, and so all of those, so we have defense mechanisms when we just have them as human beings to begin with, but then when we're traumatized continually over time, it hijacks our brain, right? And so our approach then to relationships becomes a survival approach. Like I'm getting into a new relationship with you, but unconsciously my traumatized brain is like, warning, warning, warning. This is where the trauma happened within a close relationship, right? So I'm going to get triggered in this relationship, and I'm going to start using all of my survival skills on you, right? Which are meant to keep you away, and they're meant to protect me. Right? And so if I'm in a relationship, my parent, my caregiver, my primary caregiver is disordered, not healed, all that stuff is going to get downloaded onto the child, right? And then the child is going to pick up all those maladaptive coping skills that the mother or the father is using in the relationship. What our parents do, their relationship structure, their emotional intelligence, their emotional maturity, where they are, we learn from them, right? And so what if your parent doesn't know what emotional maturity is, or they're very immature emotionally, or what if they're devoid of emotional intelligence, or what if they believe that my feelings are not my responsibility, they're your responsibility. So if you say something to me that activates me and makes me feel uncomfortable,
That's
it's
a you problem,
your
right.
fault,
Yeah.
right? When you do that to a child over and over and over again, they learn, they learn that they have to caretake my parents' feelings versus the other way around.
Yeah.
And then what do you think, so an adult relationship with that person is going to, that person gets out of that relationship, grows up, and then they're going to go and formulate other relationships in their life that are going to mirror that one, that primary relationship.
Yeah, but not everybody goes out and looks at
Cycle.
kiddie porn. Like, what is the difference between a person who grew up with PTSD, bad parents, and then someone that does that, like a sexual deviant? You know, is it usually something darker than just a narcissistic parent?
It could be. Sometimes there's a correlation between physical abuse. If the child has been physically abused, there's an increase in sexual abuse on their end, like where there's an increase that they're going to do that. But there's also an increase that they're going to act out, like they're going to act out in one way or another sexually, possibly. So that's one of the reasons. Also, it's kind of how you're raised, how you're taught to think about sex, how you're taught not to think about sex. And just like alcohol, you know, it's a pathway. It's something that gets presented to the person kind of early on. And then a lot of times, like if I'm not teaching my child about human sexuality, this is to answer your question. If I'm living in an environment or wherever that's devoid of that type of education, then I'm going to seek it out elsewhere. I'm going to seek it out through maybe internet pornography. And that's going to be my foundation for an education in human sexuality. And so that in and of itself can lead to untoward, you know, sexual deviance, if you will, right? If I'm looking at this, and I have a lot of people that come in and they are addicted to pornography, they're addicted to masturbation. So it started a long time ago, like in their adolescence, and it's been a progression, right? And now we have folks that are, and sometimes nothing has happened to these people in there or that they can think of. And this is just their template. This is their addiction. This is kind of their thing. This is what they've chosen to do. Just like some people choose to take heroin, some people choose to drink alcohol, some people choose to overspend, some people choose to look at pornography obsessively and masturbate obsessively. Now, some people actually do meet the word pedophile gets thrown around a lot. Not every person that looks at child sexual abuse images, not every person that molests someone that's underage is a pedophile. There is criteria that you have to meet. In fact, in my work, I've only met probably in the 20 years, maybe like a dozen, maybe 2 dozen, maybe like 12
True.
people who would have met that criteria.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So what people also don't maybe know, that's not so common, is that adults, it is not uncommon for adults to be attracted to teenagers, teenage girls, teenage boys, because teenage girls and teenage boys look like adults, some of them. What is unusual and what is wrong is to act on that. But just being attracted to a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, if you're even aware that that's how old they are, is not in and of itself deviant or unusual. It's when you act on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you get clients, or I don't know what you call them, but that are like truly fixed? Or is it kind of a...
There's no fix.
Okay.
There's
what would you call it?
There's no fix.
Healed?
There's no, I understand that I have an attraction to children. I understand that I want to be sexual, right? And it's a choice not to, simply. So there are pedophiles walking around amongst us that understand that they have a problem, that are also in distress about the fact that they have a problem, that choose not to act on it. Just like, I don't want to minimize it, but just like an alcoholic.
Right.
Like myself.
Right.
I choose not to drink. I've been in recovery for 7 years. I am an alcoholic. And I choose, that's a problem for me. I know what's going to happen if I take it, right? I know what's going to happen if I have a drink. I'll turn into a gremlin.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like towards the end. In the beginning, I'm kind of
fun, right?
Yeah, but then
And
towards
then it
the
gets
end,
dark.
it's like, go on with yourself.
Yeah. Is it hard for you? Or is it now, yeah, I got it?
Oh, well, you know what? In the beginning, it was hard. In the beginning, it was really, Jill, I didn't think I could stop. I did not think in my lifetime that I would be a person that would be a non-drinker. It was that woven in to who I am as a person.
Your blueprint, yeah.
To my role, to how I perceived myself, right? To how I showed up at events. What I discovered is that I'm socially anxious, and I have been probably my whole entire life. I'm actually a little shy. And that helped.
Sure.
Alcoholism, so people who are drinking alcoholically are not happy people. They are not happy people. If you see people drinking alcoholically and they look like they're having a good time like I did, they are not. Alcoholism, drug addiction is a job. We are not happy people. We are simply refueling, giving our brain what it wants, right? Because essentially when you become addicted to anything, it's brain driven. So my brain wants this, my brain wants this, my brain wants this. So I'm going after it to give my, to give my brain what it wants. It's very difficult to stop that cycle, and it is possible. But I'm so glad every day, I'm so grateful every day that I chose to stop drinking. My life has been a 180.
So much better, yeah.
A 180. I would have never met you.
Yeah.
I would have never met Julie. I would have never met Susan. I would have
Because
never met any of you.
You wouldn't be
ladies.
playing tennis,
because
or
I
you
wouldn't be playing tennis. I was in a bar. I was on a bar stool.
Right.
That's where my focus was. Drinking, having fun. Like I literally went from a bar stool to a tennis court when I decided to stop drinking.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
When I decided to stop drinking, like because I'm a therapist, I kind of know what I need to do. I work in addiction, so I know you need to go to AA meetings. I know you need to, get yourself a therapist. I know you need to
Sponsor? Do you have a sponsor?
I don't have a sponsor. I know you need to, get into some sort of group stuff. I started working with horses. I did that for a little bit, just like, going to the bar and figuring out how to, put their stuff on. Obviously, I didn't pursue that further, but I loved, being there and working with there. That's cool. And kind of connecting with horses are magical animals, you know what I mean? And
I've heard this.
Yeah.
I don't know much about horses.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And connecting with them and being with the people there and connecting with the people there. Yeah. But then ultimately I actually tried to get my kids to play tennis first. And they were like, leave us alone, Mom. We don't want to play tennis. We want to do other things. And then I was like, you know what? I remember sitting at the Westtown School, because that's where I started taking lessons, but then that's where also my youngest daughter was taking lessons too. I remember sitting on the bleachers and thinking to myself, WTF?
Yeah, why am I sitting here?
Right.
Why
Like,
am
and why am
out
I
there?
forcing my child to do something that she absolutely doesn't want to do when I want to do it?
Right.
It's like right then and there, I got his name was Fazil.
Oh, I know Fazil.
Yeah,
He's
Fazil's
kind of
dope.
famous. Yeah.
I love Fazil.
Yeah, yeah.
Called him up on the phone. I was like, yo, man. I was like, can you hook me up with some tennis lessons? And he hooked me up with a lady named Claire. I love Claire. So Claire and I started this adventure together. I don't see Claire anymore. I haven't seen
Does
her.
she still play?
I'm sure she does. She's a pro. She was really awesome. And I loved her as a pro. She gave me a foundation. She helped me get started. And then the rest is history, right? Then I started at the Y, then I got on teams, and
Here we are. And they say it's the healthiest sport. Now, we can put that in air quotes because I'm sure there's a lot of factors of why it's called the healthiest sport to play. But, the theory is that it's using not only your brain, all your muscles, not just, I guess any sport you could say this about, but also being outside, being part of a community, reaction time. Those are all things that you need for healthy living.
Actually, it informs our health span. I was reading.
Like 10 years or
articles.
something. Yeah, something like that.
100%.
Yeah.
The social,
the
social connection, the physical connection, being outside, thinking about the sport, all that kind of stuff, especially the physical and especially the social, those inform your health span. So when they say that tennis players live longer, I understand why. It's not just the physical piece.
Yeah.
It's like look at this. Like we met, we're tennis players, and look, we're having this conversation. We're connected. And we're continuing that connection, right? And that makes you happy and that makes me happy. As human beings thrive off of connection with one another, right? When we don't have that connection, we kind of shrivel up.
Oh, totally. That's another reason why, the COVID years, I look back still and I sort of have PTSD from that, like what we did, what happened then and how we shut so much off. It was terrible. Total other sidebar. So you also see regular couples, not just
I work with couples and individuals. Couples and individuals who are going through whatever it is that they're going through.
Yeah, what are they going through? Tell us because
I'll tell you. A lot of times couples come in, their performance issues, pain with sex, all these things are completely legitimate, and we work them out. At the core issue, about 97% of the time is communication. There is a significant and severe breakdown in communication between these two people. Communication is, we think about it and we do it every day, right? Like I'm communicating with you now, you're going to go home, communicate to your patients, talk with your family, all this kind of stuff. But like, how are we communicating? What are we communicating? And when we really need to have a conversation that's uncomfortable, are we making time and space for that? Right? Is there a connection? Is there room and space in our relationship for me to be able to say what I need to say to you, and you take full responsibility for any emotion that's coming up? Like, you're not going to blame me, right, for how it is that that you're feeling in response to what I'm saying. The conversation stops when that happens.
Wait, can we talk about that again for a second? So you're saying if I say something to you because I'm trying to get a little dig, I want to, hurt your feelings for whatever reason.
Right.
It's not my responsibility if you get sad or you get offended or you get hurt.
No, it's mine, because that feeling came up inside of me, right?
But if I never said it, you wouldn't have felt it. So I have no responsibility, or
if I ask you to take accountability, like if I say, this, like, okay, I'm feeling activated, I'm feeling frustrated, I'm feeling angry. Am I taking a minute to process that through? What does this feeling really mean for me? What even is the feeling that I'm feeling, right? A lot of times, no, that doesn't happen. Like, you'll say something to me and then I'll just react, right? And then make it your fault. Or then we'll get into an argument, or I'll say something triggering back to you. What needs to happen is one of us needs to take a minute and process our feelings, right? You said something to me, I got activated by that. I need to process that a little bit.
Like,
Because
why am I getting activated by? But what if it's an insult? Or it's something hurtful.
And if I'm emotional, like if I get emotional over that, that's probably not the best time for me to talk to you. Right? Because if I'm emotional, then I'm not rational. So you're just getting all of my emotions.
And also, it's showing to the person that said the offensive thing, me in this example, like I get what you're saying. Like later, if we talk about it, you could be like, why would you want to hurt me? Why
Right.
would you say something that
Right.
you know would hurt me? And then
Right.
I would say, why do I want, so I
Correct.
get what you're saying. Yeah,
Correct. Like, and there can be an accountability thing there, right?
Yeah.
But what if you say something to me, you're just giving me feedback.
Yeah.
You're not meaning
Yeah.
to hurt my feelings at
Yeah.
all or say anything to me, and I get activated.
Yeah.
And I tell you, and now I'm mad at you.
You give me the cold shoulder, you give me the silent treatment, something's going on with you. Yeah.
Exactly. Some people believe that if a feeling gets activated in me and you're the person that's standing right before me, right, or I'm having a conversation with you, then you're to blame. Not I need to take accountability for my own feelings because that feeling was already there. Where is that feeling coming from? That feeling could be really, really old, right? That feeling could have just been activated by something that you said, but really have nothing to do with what's going on here in the present day. Right? And so that's why it's important. That's why it's important that we process our feelings and stop being so reactionary, right? Like, forget about what the other person said. What's coming up inside of me and why?
And you know what? That's hard to do. That's a hard reflection
It's
in
a
the
practice.
moment. Yeah, to say.
It's 100% a practice.
We just want to knee jerk and say, F you, whatever. I don't know.
Our feelings are our responsibility.
Okay.
Your feelings are your responsibility. It's a part of taking ownership, right?
Interesting.
For who we are, for what's coming up inside of us.
So you see that a lot with couples because and I don't know, you tell me, but like with sex, it's like that's the tangible piece of communication, or that's the thing that manifests, right?
Yeah.
So if so is it like couples aren't having sex, or they're not doing what are some of the things?
Or
Mostly?
there's incompatibility with drives,
Oh well,
right?
yeah, sure.
So there's that, and there's incompatibility with drives. But then then emotions come in to the mix, right? Like, what if you're feeling more sexual than me regularly, and I want to pursue sex with you, but you're like, yo, I'm not really feeling it. Am I feeling abandoned? Am I feeling rejected? Am I talking to my partner about all those feelings that are coming up? Am I giving my partner ample time to respond and reflect on what I'm saying, right? Have we tried to work that out first?
Right.
Yeah. A lot of the times, no. A lot of the times is this person isn't meeting my needs. I want this. I'm not getting it. Why not? And they don't really have the tools to figure out how to make everybody happy. Everybody can be happy in a relationship if we know how to talk to one another, right? If we know how to negotiate, if we know how to communicate. And if there's an agreement between us, like some couples don't have that agreement between them. Some couples aren't really friends. Like, are you friends with your husband? And do you want to be? I do.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
I want him to be my friend.
Yeah.
I want to riff with him. I want to give him a high five.
Yeah.
I want to chill, right? I don't want it to just be what I saw between my parents.
Yeah. Do you see that a lot? They say, is it still like 50% of marriages end in divorce? Is that still the
I don't know what the percentage is, but I would say it's high. It's probably still really high.
It is?
Well, why are people getting married to begin with?
I don't know. What do you mean?
Like, are we getting married for the right reasons?
I see.
Are you getting married just to have sex with someone? And why would you do that?
But aren't people getting married so much later now? And so I don't think that's really the reason anymore.
Well,
Maybe
depending
that was
on
in
what
the 50s.
community you're in.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in a reformist Christian community,
right.
you're 100% doing that. And I know that because half of my biological dad and his I guess she's his wife. They're estranged a little bit. And his my half siblings, they all are part of that community.
But then one might argue that
actually, my dad
is that the highest rate of divorce of reformist Christians that get married because they want to have sex? No, it's more like the loosey-goosey, this is like a fun thing that we're going to do, but I'm not really dedicating, my life to you. I'm not,
right.
I don't know. I don't know the answer.
I don't believe that people really understand fully what
they're getting
marriage
into.
is.
Yeah.
Right? Marriage is a business agreement. Marriage is partnership.
Yeah.
It's a business partnership. It's a friendship. It's a sexual partnership. right?
life,
Like we're
yeah.
co-parenting together. We're essentially running a business.
Yeah, that's true. And it's hard to know when you're 28, you know? What would you tell young people who are thinking about getting married?
Think about it more.
Yeah.
Like with my own daughter, you know, she was thinking, like, she was in a relationship with this kid, and she's like, they broke up, and she's like, Mom, I thought he was the one. You're 24 years old. Right. Your brain isn't even done developing, let alone his. Right. What are you thinking about right now, right? Like, and have you thought that through? Like, what is really marriage? What does it really mean? You know, things do change when you get married. The people necessarily don't change, but the expectations are that much higher, right? And is marriage necessary in the relationship right now, right? Like really kind of thinking through, like when people come into my office, I oftentimes ask them, what were your intentions for getting married? Why? Was it to co-parent? You know, was it to raise children? Was it to build a business? Was it for other reasons?
Pressure, from whoever.
All that. Yeah. So I think just kind of like just from the start, I would encourage people just to think through, like just processing, what are my intentions for getting married, right? And really, what is marriage, and what does this mean for my life, right? It's easy to get married. It's really difficult to get a divorce. It's time and money. Time and money. Marriage is a business agreement between you, the other person, and the state. You know what I mean? You go through that, it doesn't work out. What happens then?
But that said, you believe in marriage, right? Like you think it's when it works, it's a beautiful, glorious thing.
Yeah. I also believe in premarital counseling too. Like understanding the person.
What you're getting into,
Well, because a lot of times people get married and they're expecting the other person to change. People don't change. Nope. You need to give somebody a really good reason to do so, and then they need to buy in, right? A lot of people can't even change themselves. What are you even doing trying to change somebody else? Like I challenge, change yourself first. You want to change your spouse, change yourself first, right? You want respect, you want honesty, you want loyalty, you show up that way. Like stop telling me what you want, you show up that way, and then you'll get it. And if you're not getting it, then you'll move to a different relationship. Not every relationship is for everybody either. Right? And sometimes people just don't know how to get out of relationships.
Have you had a lot of success stories? Like, or is it more just you're kind of chugging along, feeling like, oh, day after day? Or do you feel like what you're doing is really helping and making change?
I absolutely feel like what I'm doing is really helping and making change. I get feedback, you know, I get people who tell me, and it doesn't happen all the time, and we don't really solicit, like as a therapist, I'm not soliciting feedback, right? I'm not asking people like what they think, but when they say it to me,
or you see it with your eyes, right?
Or I see it with my eyes, I like suck it up, and I'm like, thank you so much for sharing that with me, or sharing that with me about one of my contractors. I'll get feedback from one of my contractors. It's showing up for somebody, you know, it's showing up and having unconditional positive regard. Right? And holding space for someone and their emotions, which a lot of people can't do with each other. It's a practice to to feel really intense feelings, hold them, and leave enough space for somebody to have their own in the same moment with you. That's required as a parent. And a lot of parents can't do that for their kids, you know?
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Emotional development is a big deal. Relationships, there's famous psychologists who say this all the time, but the quality of your relationship equals the quality of your life. It is 100% true.
100%.
Where in your life don't you have a relationship with a person, place, system, or thing, right? You have a relationship here with Westchester Studios, this system. I heard you when I was in the bathroom speaking with this young man. You're in relationship. You're in relationship with the studio, right? You have a relationship with me. You just bought a new car. You'll have a relationship with that dealership. You have a whole family at home. 5 people waiting for you. You have a relationship with that whole entire system and each individual in that system. It's a lot of relationships, Jill. Yeah.
That's not even to count work and
that's not even
casual,
to count work.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah, and your point is that go ahead, keep going.
The approach, our approach to relationships, what does that look like? And is that gleaning is that gleaning what we want out of our relationships, right? Some people are miserable because they have mental health issues that aren't treated, that their circumstances are poor, and those people probably have crunchy relationships because they're bringing all the negativity, all of the untreated trauma, all the stuff into the relationship with them, right? So it really matters if we're clear, how clear we are, how healed we are, and how we show up for other people, how we show up for ourselves. How we show up for ourselves.
Can every relationship be saved?
No.
No?
And it shouldn't.
Okay.
Some relationships have an expiration date. And they should. 100%. And you should honor that. When it's done, it's done.
Right.
And if we keep beating a dead horse, literally, both of us are just going to get hurt. Yes, absolutely. Relationships have an expiration date. And a lot of times, you know, you may really love the person, like you may really care about the person, but it's not the person for you, right? For whatever reason, they're not your person, and that's okay. It's okay to love someone and to say to them, you know what, I love you, but this isn't going to work out.
This isn't suiting me, helping
Right?
us, yeah.
And sometimes we don't have to always kick somebody out of our life. Sometimes we just need to place them, right? Like, so sometimes not everybody belongs here, right? I don't have to give every single person in my life everything that I have because they might not deserve it. They might not warrant it, right? So some people are real close. Other people are a little bit further out. Some people are a little bit further out. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
So we don't always have to just kick somebody out of our life. Maybe sometimes we just have to place them in a different spot.
Different bucket, yeah. That's interesting.
This is interesting that you do this. Yeah, the podcast.
Yeah, why? Why do you say that?
I think I think it's really courageous and brave of you to put yourself out there in such a way. Yeah, and
Thanks,
then to find interesting people to talk to.
Yeah.
And also what you do for a living. You know, you're in the healthcare field. You know, you're working with people all the time. You're in people's faces, like literally. You know what I mean? And then you do this.
Well, and I think I talked about this on like when I first started doing the podcast. The whole reason is because I started realizing that there was a lot to being our age. And like the manifest was the wrinkles. So they would come in to want for me to help them fix their wrinkles. And inevitably, we'd wind up talking about, you know, aging parents and marriage changes and kids leaving home. And it was like, whoa, there's so much going on. And I felt like there needed to be, I don't know, like there's a market for it. There's a place for it. And I really love this niche. I feel like we have a lot to say. And I have no shortage of like fascinating people like you that I meet that I'm like, ooh, let's save this for the pod. Let's talk about it on the podcast because I think other people would like to hear about what we have to say. And I feel like we just scratched the surface too. Like, I don't know, maybe you'll come back sometime when we can talk more about the marriage piece because I think that's important. As your kids leaving home, like the big joke is like when your kids leave the nest, it's like, oh shit, it's just me and my husband, which we haven't been for, you know, 24 years. And, you know, that's a topic right there. You know, maybe we could talk about that at some point in the future. That's a
transition. Yeah, we definitely could.
Yeah.
What I want to say though also is women, I would encourage women to start taking more care of themselves and their own sexuality. We socialize men in this country, to think that and believe that they know everything, that they should know everything, do everything, have all the answers, make all the money. It's too much pressure, and it's simply not true. Men aren't perfect, and they don't know all the answers. And women are socialized to believe that's true. And so women put a lot of pressure on men about sexuality and other things that they just simply don't know the answer to. And so I think women have to take more ownership over their own sexuality, over their own bodies, figuring out what really works for them instead of leaving it to someone who doesn't have any idea.
Sure.
What it is
Makes
that
sense.
he or she may be doing.
Yeah. But it comes down to communication again.
100%. But we have to know ourselves.
Right.
We have to feel comfortable with ourselves. We have to know what works for us. We have to know what doesn't work for us. And we have to communicate that clearly. You know, sexual assault doesn't just happen outside of a marriage or a committed relationship. A lot of times it happens inside of a committed relationship. I've had more than one couple come to me and say, there has been marital rape here. Or I've said yes and I didn't mean to say yes. I meant no. And then we're saying, like, that shouldn't have happened, right? I think it's 100% a breakdown in miscommunication, right? And asking yourself, like, why would I say yes when I meant no?
Again, that comes back to, you know, that's not the other person's fault. If you said yes but meant no,
right?
You know, I'm not trying to defend marital rape by any stretch, but
that's a piece. That's a piece as women. Like, we do have to take accountability. Yeah, I had to just start to take account. Like, speaking of sexual assault, whenever you're sexually assaulted, it's wrong, and the person who did that is wrong and to blame, right, at fault. However, I'll speak for myself. As a person who was an alcoholic, I would consistently put myself into situations and environments that would invite trouble. I was prey for the predators, and I knew it, and I kept going back because I liked to drink, right? So whatever happened in those environments, if I was attacked, if I was assaulted, not my fault, but my responsibility.
Yes.
I have to look at myself. Yes. I have to take accountability for what I'm doing, what I'm putting in my body, and the places that I'm going, right? 100%.
100%.
100%. And that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Like, men and women, we can be compatible, we can communicate, we can find a way, and we're different. We're especially different sexually, right? Women experience responsive desire, men experience more spontaneous desire. Just simply understanding that.
Yeah, I mean, great points, and I think we just scratched the surface here. Why don't, before we wrap it up, why don't you tell us where we can find more information about you, your business, and if we wanted to work with you?
Yeah, if you wanted to, my name is Melissa O'Neill again at Dobish, and I am the owner of the Rosetree Center for Healthy Sexuality. We're located in Media, Pennsylvania, and then we also do telehealth. So we see people in person and do telehealth. You can reach me at my email address.
Yeah.
info1@rosetreechs.com.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you so much for having this conversation with me. And there's so much more to talk about. So hopefully you'll come back.
I absolutely will. Jill, it was a pleasure.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you.
See you
on the tennis court. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thanks.